Afternoon. Tempus Resources. We're an ASX-listed company with also a listing here in Canada on the venture. We have two key areas we're working in British Columbia and also in Ecuador, but the focus is very much on the projects in British Columbia. Okay, there's a bit of the metrics, 236 million shares out, market cap of around 18 million Aussie. Most of the shareholders are currently in Australia, about 90%. We're building our share base on the venture as well. We have some institutional investors on board. There's a lot of liquidity in the stock, average 1.4 million shares a day trade. So let's just dive into the project here in British Columbia. So first off, where is it? It's in a fantastic location. It's how I explain it to the Aussies. I say, well, you know where Whistler is, right? And they say, okay, just drive another hour and a half, and you're at in Lillooet. And so we're in the same the Pioneer Braylorne Gold District. We got Talisker Resources surrounding us there. They just put out a resource this week. They're about plus $50 million market cap. You have West Haven, a little bit to the south of us, again about a $50 million market cap. The company, they're all similar sort of stage of development, I'd say. You see our projects there, Blackdome and Elizabeth, and this is really two projects combined into one, two gold deposits, and at Blackdome there's an existing mill and tailings storage facility that is fully permitted. So, you know, one of the things that attracted me to the company when I joined is both just the potential options here on the corporate side and on the operational side. You know, for example, Talisker hasn't decided what they're doing with a mill. We have an existing mill. There's a lot of sort of different potential options there. Let's just dive into the drilling. We've acquired this project 2 years ago. We've done 2 full seasons of drilling, 80 holes, and it's been very, very successful. This is extremely sort of high grade. We have, for example, the blue vein, we have 8 holes from this year with over 1 ounce per ton intersections. We just announced a result earlier last week on this number 9 vein, which is 28 grams per ton over 28.5 meters. So we'll go into that in a little bit more detail, but we're finding when we first acquired this, there's an existing historical resource on that one called the Southwest vein, about 200,000 ounces, done in 2009. We've done, since that, we've done 80 holes in total, 25 on the blue vein, 10 on this number 9 vein. Last year we focused on drilling the Southwest vein out. But so we have a number of veins under development, vein sets, and they're quite closely spaced. These are about 100 to 150 meters apart. So just looking at some of these grades, here's the announcements of the holes we just announced. And previously there had been some exploration done here in the 40s, and you'll see in that map there's a little drift there, an exploration drift. It's called number 9 drift. And they'd missed all the high-grade gold. So we're finding it all above, below, and to the side of the existing exploration drift from the 1940s. But as you can see, the grades are spectacular. This 28 grams over 28 meters is actually made up of 3 other very significant intersections. Just going to the blue vein. Like I said, we have 25 holes on it. We have 8 holes with over 1 ounce per ton intersections. We have grades up to 1,500 grams per ton. That's 50 ounces per ton. The widths of these veins range between typically 1 and 6 meters. So this is now all the drilling. We just discovered this last year. This was a vein that does an outcrop, as you can see. We drilled a blind hole, hit 1 meter at 34 grams per ton. So it's really been a successful year. We have this delineated over about 400 meters of sort of strike length. This is the southwest vein where most of the historic resource is there. You see some of these intersections, 4 meters at over 30 grams per ton. So it's really coming together in terms of potential sort of ounces. Here's what it looks like on a sort of long section. So our plan for this is we have more drilling to do, but we're concurrently looking at some of the feasibility study aspects of being able to bring this into production. It's got a lot of benefits in terms of it's a mountain. You drive in at the base of this for mining, so you're driving in at the bottom. You're not sinking shafts, and gravity is working for you. Where we've been talking about on this project is just Elizabeth, Maine, what you see there. This is actually a very large property in total between Blackdome and Elizabeth. We have 300 square kilometers. And one of the takeaway from this is of our aeromag. You see the dark blue, the aeromag lows. We initially thought the intrusion that's hosting these veins was really only Elizabeth, Maine. Now we're seeing it's much larger. So we're getting interest from, given the size of this, we also have interest from the majors, and this has got potential, for such larger scale. As you can see here, this is done to scale. We've just started to scratch the surface, and you see we make an analogy with the Braylorn mine, which is about 30 kilometers to the south. We think it has the potential to go down to, Braylorn was mined over a 70-year period down to a depth of 2,000 meters. Similar structure, same geochemistry, similar rocks, similar setting. So, we need to prove up that theory, but it certainly has a potential to turn into a very significant deposit. Now, just touching on the mill. This is the mill at Blackdome. It's 30 kilometers directly north of the Elizabeth project. That mill, that's the way it is right now, has a capacity of 200 ton a day, which would be at the grades we're looking at, about 25,000 ounces a year. We've done a detailed study of bringing that back into production that we will release soon. It had only run for a period, this is previously operating, run for a period of five years and producing about 230,000 ounces of gold at a very high grade, 22 grams per ton. So we've started to do some exploration on Blackdome, but we've been focusing on Elizabeth and looking at Blackdome as really the potential for infrastructure. So at Blackdome, the mill is fully permitted. This is on a mining lease. We have a tailings enclosure facility, fully permitted as well. So it's a huge advantage compared to sort of greenfield sort of projects. So once we have we're focusing on the mineable resource now. We're going to announce a resource in about mid-year. We're working on it right now, and that'll include both Blackdome and Elizabeth. There is certainly potential for more gold to be found at Blackdome. We're doing some work where we're finding where we are in that epithermal system with let's touch base just a little bit on Ecuador. Ecuador is, we have some projects in Ecuador we acquired before we acquired the BC projects. They are in a fantastic location right beside Fruta del Norte, Lundin's operating gold mine, and in line with a number of major copper porphyry. These are earlier stage projects where we've done soil sampling and geophysics, and it certainly has the potential for copper porphyry mineralization. We're seeing that in the results and the outcroppings of the rocks. This is the one, Rio Zarza, the second project that is a potential extension of Fruta del Norte. We have permanent drill holes there. They're deep drill holes. We haven't drilled them yet. We're probably leaning towards, with the success of Blackdome and Elizabeth, we're probably leaning to do something strategic with the Ecuadorian assets and something where we retain some participation or sort of blue sky. But that's over the next couple months. We're going to have an updated resource. We still have 7 drill holes to announce the results on that from our drilling this year. Then we'll be coming out with a detailed on the study on the process plant and the capital to bring that back into operation. And as I mentioned earlier, when I look at the sort of comps, we're at a very attractive valuation compared to our neighbors.